Fandoms Anonymous.
What's going on, guys? This is Malcolm, and this is another episode of Fandom Talk. Today, we're going to talk about all of the trailers that we saw in the Super Bowl. We're also going to talk about the controversy over at Paramount with the World War Z sequel and the Jason movie. And we're just going to cover a lot of different things, and even Iron Fist. Check it out.
What's going on, everybody? This is another episode of Fandom Talk from Fandoms Anonymous. I got my main man on the line with me, my boy Kevin Garlington. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, good morning, good morning. Ready to talk this stuff about these movies. Let's get it.
And I got my man Jeremy Branch from B-Tail Productions outside of Pensacola, Florida. What's going on, Jeremy?
Happy to be back, man. We had a good time last Wednesday, so I'm glad to be doing it. And like Kevin said, ready to talk some trailers. We got a bunch of them today.
Awesome. So this past Sunday was the big game, and it, in fact, was a big game. As you know, the Atlanta Falcons, or as everybody's calling them on the internet now, the Atlanta Falcons failed to beat the Patriots. But outside of that, a lot of us were really watching the Super Bowl to see the new trailers because we heard rumors. We heard rumblings going on over the internet that we were going to get some new trailers, and we, in fact, did. We got several trailers, and we're going to briefly talk about them this morning. So let's get started with something that has been plaguing movies for the last decade now, because this will be the 10th anniversary from the very first film, Transformers 5. And this one is titled Transformers The Last Night.
Yeah, right.
So we got a new trailer. We've got two teasers. We've actually got silver teasers. This is another Michael Bay production. So what did you guys think of the Transformers The Last Night trailer?
Before we even get started, can I say that I'm tired of this notion, and I'm not saying this to you, I'm saying this to just the general public. I'm tired of the notion that nerds can't like sports and football. You know what I mean?
Right.
I got a bunch of buddies that are way into comic books, and they're also fantasy football players and all of that stuff, and they nerd out over fantasy football like it's D&D or something. But, yeah, about that Transformers The Last Night trailer, it's not the last anything. I'm tired of people putting the last in their title when you know there's going to be like 10 more movies, right?
That's that. You're right. You're right about that. Transformers is going to keep going on forever.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as the trailer goes itself, I made a couple of notes, and I think the song in that one sucks. I don't like it at all. I don't know why all trailers use those slowed down versions of pop songs that everybody knows. This one's got the Talking Heads in it, and it's that Do You Realize song. I'm just tired of seeing that trailer in movies. It was this year's Blong, like they did
Right.
all through the years, man. So, yeah, and I don't know, what is that big planet-looking thing with, like, the tendrils? Is that Unicron?
I'm hearing that is Unicron, but the new theory that came up 2 weeks ago is that is actually Cybertron coming to Earth. So there are two theories out there. So it could be Cybertron, it could be Unicron, but I'll dig into that in a second.
So the highlight of the trailer for me, obviously, I don't think I'm alone on this, but was the Optimus choke slamming Bumblebee. That was a pretty sweet shot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my basic thoughts on that one.
So let me say, Transformers. Look, I'm sick of these things, and it's to the point to where I got friends that are Transformers purists and this and that. I'm not one of those guys. I just want to go and be entertained. This is the fifth movie. The stories have gotten progressively worse. And at this point right now, the overseas market is why we're getting a sequel to this movie.
Absolutely.
This movie the fourth one did not do over $300 million domestic, by the way. The fourth one did about the same money that X-Men Apocalypse did, give or take a couple of million. So when you look at that $1.5 billion that they made on the last time, that's all the overseas market. That's why that last movie has so many tropes from Japanese culture. There's a guy that's in the elevator scene who is like the Japanese Justin Bieber or Brad Pitt. Like, he's huge over there.
Right.
We had no idea who that guy was. There's a lot of stuff in that movie that's, for the Asian audience. Got no problem with that. That's fine. I just want the story to be good. So I'm going to go see this movie. I'm not excited for it. I'm with everything Jeremy said about the tropes and all that. I'm going to go see it, and then I'll report back and let you guys know what we got. The only Transformers movie I want is Transformers with G.I. Joe. That's the only one I want. You want to save both these franchises? Tell a good story with both of them. Other than that, that's all I got to say about Transformers.
Well, let me ask you that question since you brought that up. What makes you think that would save that franchise?
That's a good question.
Well, I think when you look at The Rock and you look at what the amount of characters they have with G.I. Joe, we've got 2 G.I. Joe movies, and they kind of played with the cast a little bit and gave you other G.I. Joe characters. That team that Josh Duhamel and Tyrese is on, that should be G.I. Joe, okay, in those movies.
Right.
And the reason why I bring this up is because Michael Bay and that writer's room seems hell-bent on making the Transformers story be grounded with humans. If you want to make it grounded with humans, make it grounded with the soldiers from G.I. Joe and give them something cool to do. Can you imagine if G.I. Joe was working with the Transformers and got some of that technology to make some of those cars and weapons they had in the TV show, and Cobra was working with Megatron, with Cobra Commander? Then we got us a movie here. We got us something worth talking about. It may be too little too late at this point, but I'm saying if I was going to try to save it, that's how I would try to save it.
I can sit here and throw shade at these movies, but honestly, I've seen Transformers 1 and a couple of little clips from Transformers 2. Never saw a G.I. Joe movie, and I fell off the Transformers during the second one. I think it would be cool to go in a crossover direction, but I kind of missed the boat on the Transformers and the G.I. Joes. I was a big Ninja Turtles guy, but I didn't really watch a lot of either of those, unfortunately.
And when you say you said 2 words earlier that over the years apparently is big when it comes to reviving something. You said 2 words. You think you can pick out those 2 words you said?
Oh God,
I have no idea.
The Rock.
There you go.
When you said The Rock, it's like The Rock is the movie guru. Anything The Rock puts his hands on, something comes good from it. And just imagine The Rock and Optimus Prime fighting together. Right?
Yeah.
Just that imagery alone stands out for an awesome movie. The Rock and Optimus and Bumblebee fighting Megatron and Cobra.
Yeah, I could get into that. And then I also feel like that The Rock, they called him franchise Viagra, but if he can save a movie like San Andreas from being really mediocre to being fun as hell, I think that this guy, his social media presence is strong. The dude knows what he's doing as far as marketing his movies and getting himself out there and just being like, he's really fresh with modern audiences. He's the closest thing to an 80s action hero that we have anymore.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then, and just to step outside of Transformers for a little bit, I hope that DC is not banking on The Rock to save DC.
Yep.
Because that's what it's starting to look like to me.
Yep. If Ben Affleck can't do it, maybe The Rock can.
But that's neither here nor there. We're going to keep moving on to our next trailer on our list here, and that's Logan. We got a new extended spot for Logan, and it's like everybody was coming out with these spots, and then they say, go watch the rest online. And it's like all of the trailers were like that, and I think it was because, they only get 30 seconds. So if you want to see the rest, you got to go online. And, of course, as soon as it dropped, it was instantly on YouTube and, of course, on other sites. So what did you guys think about the Logan trailer? Logan is less than a month out. Logan's going to start out the month of March. What did you guys think about Logan?
Kevin, you want to take this one first?
Yeah, I'll jump in here first on this one. So they don't have to show me anything else. I don't need any more scenes. I don't need any more trailers. I don't need any more story. It is just time to see the movie. one thing I will say about the Super Bowl, and this is just my opinion and not fact. I know that the NFL signed a large contract, TV contract this year, so did the NBA and last year, and a lot of the advertising spots are super expensive. Mm-hmm. So what companies are doing is saying, hey, look, we'll still advertise at the Super Bowl, but I'll buy the cheapest spot I can, and I'll funnel everybody to YouTube. Yep. And that is going to be the new trend going forward. We got to get used to that. Movie houses are not going to put probably $15 or $20 million that it would cost to get 3 minutes during the Super Bowl to put a whole trailer up when YouTube does it for free. So they're going to advertise just to get eyes and to capture that audience. But everybody's going to have to go funnel over to YouTube. And I want to say that that's probably going to be the new trend. But I'm sorry, but back to Logan. I'll make this brief. Just show me the damn movie. I'm ready. It looks phenomenal. It looks great. We'll finally get the Wolverine story we wanted. I think Jeremy said this one time before, talking about how, the Wolverine was a great movie until you got to the robot, until you get to that BS Samurai they did. But before that, they captured the character great. They were doing some really good stuff in there. So I'm just ready to see what they got.
Yep, I think they're batting one for two so far. The Wolverine was good. I would like to see them push it way further this time, and everything that we've seen in the trailers up to this point just leads me to believe that they are nailing a tone that we haven't seen in the Fox movie universe up to this date. It is very grounded. It seems very gritty. And, I echo what you said, that I'm ready to see the movie. I felt like they've gotten a little more spoilery each time a new trailer has came out. As far as that 30-second TV spot, and I might be alone on an island on this, guys, but I did not like the Amazing Grace rendition put in the TV spot, and it was all footage that we've already seen before in other trailers. But then the final Red Band trailer is incredible. I really like the song they used in that one. The shot with Logan and X-23 riding in that car, and she's got those little sunglasses on, and she's just looking out the window. That is iconic already to me, and I'm just I'm pretty pumped about seeing it. And then also in the Red Band at the very end, we got Patrick Stewart or Professor X saying, "She's 11 and I'm effing 90." And I thought that was a pretty funny little line at the end.
Yeah. Most definitely. And I say I'm looking forward to Logan too. Like I said, it's going to crank out the beginning of March as far as the movies are concerned. So it's a lot coming out in March, and it's a lot coming out in February as well. With that, we move to our next trailer, Fate of the Furious. And just as many Transformers that we've had just as many Fast and the Furious movies. Do you think they're ever going to stop making these movies? And what did you guys think about the Fate and the Furious trailer?
I figured they would call it the last and the Furious this time, because we know it's not going to be the last one, so they might as well throw that in there. I actually thought it was just Fast and the Furious 8 until I heard you say Fate and the Furious. I really like this cast. The cast is the strongest part. It's a shame that we lost Paul Walker when we did. I thought that the end of the seventh one was, I thought that the end was really well done. I think that they handled it with subtlety, and they didn't exploit it too much in the trailers. It was really done well. I'm tired of hearing references to the family. That's all that I ever hear in these freaking trailers, and it's just stop with that. And then as far as Toretto, he's brainwashed in this one, just like Optimus Prime, or just like Michelle Rodriguez in previous movies when she got amnesia or whatever, So I feel like they're definitely retreading a lot of the same territory in this, and there was way too much info in the extended trailer. We see, and this is spoiler, so if you guys haven't watched the trailer and you don't want to have the plot given away for you, this is what I saw, is Toretto starts out brainwashed or working for the bad guys, and then we see Charlize Theron is kind of working with Kurt Russell as a kind of leadership role, and we think they're all on the same side. And we see Jason Statham, the bad guy from the last one, is coming in as a good guy this time. And then by the end of the trailer, we see that Toretto's working with Charlize Theron's character, and it's just stop showing me the movie. But that said, the action looks hella fun in this one. The submarine coming out from under the ice and the whole cars shooting the grappling hooks and then all spinning around and Toretto, like, snatching the freaking door off of his car. It looks fun, you know?
And that's what those movies have been. They've been real fun movies. I haven't watched all of them. I've slowly been watching all of them. Me and my wife, from time to time, will pick up where we left off with one and finish it off, trying to get through them because there's so many.
Yeah.
But next trailer we got was Pirates of the Caribbean, and this is it's like the year of the return of multi-franchise movies. So it's Pirates 5. Am I correct or incorrect?
Yeah, that's right.
No, you're right.
The 5th Pirates movie. Now, I have honestly, righteously, never watched a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. So any of you two that have, what do you think about this new Pirates trailer?
Kevin, please.
I've seen them all, and I can tell you that Pirates is a franchise that got progressively worse as it went on. Now, I want to say this. They have some really cool premises and ideas in all of their movies. The CGI in some of these movies will make you just, be in a state of disbelief. But I think it's time to go ahead and retire this franchise. I really do. And this is one of those movies that I'm not going to go see. I'm not going to do it. Unless my son comes in and says, Daddy, I definitely want to go. And it's just because I've been so disappointed with the last 3. Like, I love the first one. Second one was okay. And then, they just kind of fell off for me. I just don't want to give them my money. Unless one of you guys goes and says, hey, Kevin, go see this thing or whatever, I'm not going. However, I do want to point out that the CGI in this trailer, while it probably wasn't finished, what they're doing is going to be probably amazing. Those scenes with the dead pirates are probably going to be great.
Yeah.
But that's about as much love as I have for this franchise. I think they kind of ran into the ground.
Yeah, I wrote this. This is a series that can just freaking sink to the bottom of the ocean and never come back. I watched the first 2, and I liked the first one for what it was. I've gone back and revisited it since then, and it really doesn't capture the emotional hook or resonance that so many of these Disney properties are able to do. They're even able to pull at my heartstrings with damn superhero movies. So to me, that really is a testament to how good Disney is when they're firing on all cylinders. But I feel like Johnny Depp is the only thing really marketable about this series, and that his portrayal of Jack Sparrow has kept general audiences coming back for more because they just love that character, and I can understand why. I love the idea that he's a mix of Keith Richards plus Pepe Le Pew. I think that's just a funny concept to me.
Right.
Yeah, the CG looked pretty good. I agree that it would probably be a good spectacle movie. Again, we get a Johnny Cash song, which I don't think there would have been any way they would have included that song in the trailer had Logan not been such a phenomenon with just the general public. So as much as I like the Johnny Cash song, it's just like, stop it. And, I won't be attending this movie either. It sounds like unanimously all of us are like, I don't care.
It seems to me like the Johnny Camp empire or estate is really cashing in on these movie trailer songs. Because it's like we're getting multiple trailers with slow, winding Johnny Cash songs.
That's
so
right.
somebody's kids and grandkids and great-grandkids are banking every time their trailer rolls.
Good on them. Yeah, that's right.
So we move on to the next trailer, one of the most important ones in our mind, and was part of what we follow. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now I'll give my little tidbit, and then I'll let Kevin and Jeremy go next. I saw the trailer, and at first I was like, okay, I was expecting something. I was expecting to see Kurt Russell. I was expecting to see Ego the Living Planet, which I'll talk about in a second. I was expecting to see a whole lot more, but I felt like I got the same trailer again. What this trailer I feel like did was give us more, give us the character references, and not necessarily, they gave us little character references and basically letting us know that this is the new Guardians team. I think what they're really doing that I'm really excited about and is hilarious to me is they're opening up Drax more. Drax is going to be the comedic relief of this movie. He is going to be hilarious. If you guys haven't saw the trailer, and spoilers, if you have not, there was a scene where they were kind of having this good superhero pose. This piece of debris falls and hits Mantis.
That was great.
Seconds later, Drax yells out, "Look out!" After she was already hit, and he said, "I'm sorry, guys. I tried. I'm sorry." You know, that right there to me was hilarious. So about Ego the Living Planet, I believe some of the things we saw in this trailer, they were actually on Ego the Living Planet. But I feel like this trailer was used to not give away a lot of the movie. So like I said, I was looking for more of this trailer, but I understand that they're really not wanting to give away a lot of this movie. So what do you guys think about the Guardians trailer?
Yeah,
I
agree.
Go for it, Matty.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I agree. I think that, a lot of what you said is spot on. I do feel like they're probably on Ego the Living Planet. And I also agree that it seems like an opportunity to introduce us to the characters, reintroduce us to the characters, as opposed to giving away too much of the movie, which I got to respect that. I think James Gunn is a pretty visionary director. And to be quite honest, as much as I love Guardians of the Galaxy, it's the cast that pulls the weight of that film. The script isn't all that tight, but it's just the interactions between the characters it's so money, you know? And It's funny for you to say that Drax is going to be the comic relief in a movie that also stars Chris Pratt, in a movie that also stars Bradley Cooper and Michael Rooker, all of these hilarious actors, and yet Drax stands out as one of the funniest parts of the movie. So I'm real excited for it. You said it on Facebook the other day, Malcolm. There really isn't a lot in this trailer that we haven't already seen before. But the way that it was cut together with that Fleetwood Mac song, The Chain, I was really feeling that music selection, as I have on almost all of the Guardians of the Galaxy song selection so far. So a lot of positive things to say about this. Really excited about the movie. If I had one criticism, I don't think I saw one set in the entire trailer. It feels like everything's a green screen shot, and I kind of like the tangibility of real sets. So that's my pros and cons of it.
To go back to the original Guardians movie for a second, to kind of look at James Gunn's, the way he likes to do things, we saw that movie, and there was a critic that came out and said he thought that Guardians of the Galaxy was the best movie Marvel had put out so far. And I read that book, the comic book, and I was like, there's no way this movie is going to be better than Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? And while I do think Winter Soldier is a better film, I understand his argument now. There's a couple things that for those that listen to this podcast that you should probably know already, but I'll point them out real quick in the first movie. You do realize we got the Collector, we also got the Celestials, and we also got our first explanation of all the Infinity Stones in Guardians of the Galaxy. None of that pretty much in the trailer. They blew my mind in the movie theater with how they expanded the Marvel Universe with a couple of key scenes in that movie. So I'm expecting James to do the same thing when it comes to, we haven't seen Sylvester Stallone, we haven't seen Kurt Russell, and we probably were looking at Ego and didn't even know it in the trailer. So I agree with you guys on that. The other point I want to make is one of the most important things, most important image in that trailer was Aisha. Now, she goes by another name which I can't think of now, but I'm talking about the lady that was all gold. Okay? Sure. The most important thing about her is she was genetically created by the same people who created Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock's cocoon was in the first Guardians. Now, we don't know if Adam Warlock is going to be in this movie, but at the end of the first Guardians, Adam Warlock's cocoon was busted open. So we have right now the sister, she was actually made to be his mate, the mate to Adam Warlock, who is the person who defeats Thanos in the Infinity War story. That's very
wow.
important. I don't know which way they're going to go. I don't know if they're even going to connect that. I don't know if Adam Warlock is going to be a part of this story at all. But I'm saying I was so excited to see that because the thread is running so deep in the cosmic universe right now. So it's running real deep. We're seeing cosmic people. A lot of people don't know this. The Collector is a very, very powerful being in the Marvel comic universe. So we've got him. And then for Thor Ragnarok, we got the Game Master coming. Again, another very powerful cosmic being. So we got them. We got Thanos. There's a lot going on. So if the people that created Aisha in the comic books they called the Enclave, if that's who was there, if she was there with the Enclave, Adam Warlock could be around somewhere, and that is exciting. So I'm ready for this movie.
Evan Garlington dropping the knowledge on us, man. I didn't know any.
Hey, man. Hey, man, I am just a comic book reader who's been reading a long time. That's all I am. So I hope that this ties it up. And I agree with everything you guys said about enjoying the trailer, just the cast itself. And I want to go back to the first movie for a second because you talked about this, Jeremy. You said it. The cast is what makes that movie. Because I'm going to point out something to you guys. Do you realize Star-Lord beat Ronan the Accuser, by dancing, and they held hands?
It's the first thing I thought of when you said that. That is so funny. That's the resolution of the movie is a dance scene.
It's a dance scene, and we bought it. We all bought it. It's not like I'm sitting up here, making fun of it. We bought it.
Yeah.
Okay? So, if we get to the end of Suicide Squad and Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and Captain Boomerang hold hands, and Harley dances, and they beat Enchantress, that movie will go down in flaming hell. So, again, that cast saved that movie because I think that's a weak point of that script. If you know anything about Ronan the Accuser, there's no way that would happen. But, hey, I wasn't mad. I left the theater genuinely entertained. So I am extremely excited for what James Gunn and that cast has in store for us. I'm with you guys. I'm going to have to get a Baby Groot T-shirt, and I'll be there for the ride. But I want you guys to know that watching that trailer for me as an old school comic book reader, I saw some stuff in that trailer that made me scratch my head, and I felt like, holy crap, we're on to something here. So let's sit back and watch the movie and see what happens.
Holy crap, that's a lot. Before we move on, I just want to say that the casting, whoever the actress that's playing Mantis in this movie, I think I'm falling in love with her, guys, and I've only seen her in trailers.
You're going to be in trouble, man. You're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're going to be in trouble.
Oh, I know. All right, that's all I got.
This is the main reason I never talk about Candace Patton, a.k.a. Ours With. Okay, moving along. So, there was another trailer that came out during this movie. I know neither one of us is going to go see this. The Cure for Wellness. Kevin Garlington, what is your take on the Cure for Wellness?
So I brought it up, and I put this on the list so everybody that's listening because I wanted to say this. I know nothing about this movie except for I can tell you that it was weird enough, crazy enough, and outlandish enough for them to get a movie ticket from me. I'm going to see this movie. For those people who haven't seen the trailer, I can't tell you what it's about. It looks like somebody in a mental institution, and they're getting treated for something, and there's some eels in a bathtub and some type of elixir. Like, it looks crazy as hell. And this point right now, and I'm going to tell you guys why I'm passing up Fast and Furious 8 or The Fate of the Furious. And by the way, those two titles, I've seen that movie title both ways. I'm not sure what they're going with. So I'm just going to put that out there. If they call it something else or whatever, it's two titles out there. Okay? I'm not going to see that. I'm not going to see Pirates of the Caribbean because I'm kind of want to see something new, and I kind of want to be entertained by maybe what could be a fresh idea. Now, if this thing is from a book or it's an adaptation, I haven't read the book or anything like that, so I don't know anything about it. But I kind of put this on the list to kind of start a conversation with you guys to say, hey, we love the superhero genre. We love going to see our comic book adaptations and see the stories go a little bit different. But I did want to say that for those of us who go to the movies as much as we do, it's always nice to get a fresh idea. And I think that this could be that. Whether it's executed well or not, I don't know. I'm going to roll the dice. But I think I'd rather see this than Vin Diesel driving on a polar ice cap, hopping something with a jet ski, and I think I've had my fun with that. I think I'm done with them. But that's why I put this on the list. So I don't know if you guys watched the trailer, and if you didn't, we can stop talking about it right now. But that's why I put it on the list.
No, I did. I checked it out, and I agree. I feel like it was a bold move to put a trailer like that in the middle of the Super Bowl. It almost feels like counter-programming in a lot of ways, which is cool, because like you said, it's nice to know that there's alternatives out there, because we all love the superhero genre. I mean, I at least us three, and everybody loves a good Star Wars movie, and I'm not taking away from that. But to see a horror movie marketed, and it looks more cerebral than just your typical horror movie. It looks like it's going to have some interesting twists and turns in it. And, yeah, it does. It has a creepy vibe that I'm excited about. But I did want to say the whole thing has those muted blues and grays and greens in it, which gives it a very, like, somber tone. And then Dane DeHaan, I don't know what you guys think about him. I think he's a real talented actor. He reminds me so much of a young Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
And that's cool. I mean, that's a good comparison to make. He's got the look of him. He's got the attitude. He is very kind of like Christian Slater was to Jack Nicholson. That's kind of the comparison that I make here. And
that's great. That's an awesome comparison. Yeah.
The movie itself does look a bit like Shutter Island, Martin Scorsese's movie about a mental institute with Leonardo DiCaprio in it. But I love that movie.
Great call.
Yeah, it does. It has a very similar vibe to that. And then also there was a movie called Mouth of Madness. It's an older one. I think it came out maybe even at the beginning of the 90s. It stars Sam Neill from Jurassic Park, and it's about whatever it's about. It's based on H.P. Lovecraft, and it definitely has a similar vibe to that. So, yeah, I like genre movies. I love Don't Breathe and Lights Out, and 2016 just had a bunch of really good horror movies in it. So I'm excited about A Cure for Wellness.
Yeah. Most definitely. Like I say, it's always good to go see something different. I think my different movie for last year, outside of all my superhero movies, was Collateral Beauty. That movie was good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have got a chance to check it out, but that was an awesome movie from beginning to end. I really enjoyed that movie. So we're going to take another shift onto some other things. The Paramount. There's a lot of things going on over at Paramount right now. There's a lot of things going on with a lot of movie companies. Things happen. Directors quit, writers quit. Funding goes in a stray, but something specific is going on at Paramount. Kevin, can you give us a little bit of information on that?
So I did as much research as I could, and this is another thing I brought up to put on the list here, and I wanted to make everybody aware, because Jeremy and I kind of talked about the Friday the 13th remake on the previous recording that we did, and I wasn't too enthusiastic about the story that they wanted to tell.
Nope.
But yeah, we were both, kind of like, they kind of demystifying the character. This doesn't make any sense. And since then, Paramount has pulled the plug on it. And what's so interesting is that it was 6 weeks before principal photography, which is really, really close. So that what that means for people listening is they have the script, all the sets are pretty much done, the actors are cast, everybody's booked their time, and they're getting ready to go head on and get started shooting this thing. Okay? Stop that. And they also pulled the plug on World War Z 2, okay? A lot of people, the theory is that they didn't want to do the Friday the 13th movie because Rings, which is a Paramount movie, did not do well at all. I think their opening weekend was $13 million. And I think what they were saying was that, hey, these genre films, we need to rethink this because we just did a movie where we walked back down the path of a great horror film that had an okay sequel, and then we didn't do any money. So why are we going to reboot Friday the 13th in this way? Plus, everybody that I've talked to or shows that I watch or listen to, nobody liked the idea that they have for Friday the 13th, which is talking about Jason's father and things of that nature. Look, nobody cares. So I think the smart thing was for them to pull the plug on these two movies. The zombie franchise and the whole side of zombie things or whatever, it has been done to death at this point. Even so much that the audience for The Walking Dead is starting to pull back some. Now, you can attribute that to some of the things that happen on the show or whatever. Some of that is just going to be, I think we're over the whole zombie thing. We can't even count how many zombie movies have come out in the last 10 years. And they're going to try to make a sequel for, yeah, we can't. You know, for World War Z 2, it's like, you know, we're done with that story. It was cool, we did it, and let's move on. So the reason why this shakeup at Paramount is kind of important is because finally, we're seeing the company say, hey, wait a minute. We rode this particular wave. As long as we can ride it, let's course correct, okay? And, again, Jeremy said it earlier about the trailers and everybody, you know, using the slow Johnny Cash songs. The movie industry is a place where if one studio takes a chance and it pays off, other studios follow suit. The minute they stop making money on something or they're not getting positive feedback, they change direction. I think this whole rehashing old stuff and bringing it back is about to be over, and I think this is its final time. I think Paramount's getting hit to the game and say, you know what, let's spend this money on something else. So that's my take on it, but I thought we should put it out. Yeah.
That's you know, to put a little bit of perspective on it, Warner Brothers isn't the only studio that has to reconfigure what's going on. A lot of studios are reactionary. Like you had said, The Rings didn't do good, and it's a horror movie. So now we don't want to reboot Friday the 13th. And, you know, fundamentally, they're not the same kind of movie. Yes, they're both genre movies. Yes, they're both horror movies, but one is more of a supernatural ghost story, and the other is a slasher film. The inclination of Friday the 13th before this one was a found footage film, and the fans said, we don't want that. So they went back to the drawing board. They tried to give us an origin story, and the audience was like, we don't want that. How hard could it be to make a Jason movie? You get a cabin in the woods, you get 6 stereotypical teenagers, you get a dude in a freaking hockey mask, and you kill him. That's all you got to do, and fans would be cool with that. I mean, how much money would it cost? $15 million tops? So the fact that they would pull the plug on something with so little stakes, I find that interesting.
That sounds like a dark and gritty Power Rangers.
yeah. So, and then moving on to the other project, the World War Z, zombie fatigue. As a matter of fact, I'm experiencing zombie fatigue right now because one of the videos that I'm working on, it's a series, and it's called Movie Monsters. I haven't rolled any out yet because I'm trying to get a little further on into production before I do. But I'm writing an essay basically about zombies right now, and it's like, how many zombie movies have come out in the past 10 years? How many zombie movies have come out in the past 50 years? It's got to be over the thousands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
From one country to another, everybody's done them. In the 70s, it was the Italians that were remaking doing their own versions of these zombie movies. And World War Z, huge budget. It was rated PG-13, and going into it, I was kind of like, man, F this. I don't understand how you can pull off a zombie movie with a PG-13 rating. And it surpassed my expectations. I thought that it was visceral. It was pretty nerve-wracking, and they built tension really well in it. There was the scene where all of the soldiers came down off the back of the big carrier ship, and it was pouring rain outside, and they're getting zombies running up on all sides of them just super fast, and I thought that was an excellent scene. But all that said, I don't care about a World War Z 2. We have been there. We've been there, and we've done that, and of all the sequels that people are asking for, nobody cares about a World War Z sequel, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that's all I got on that one.
Preferably on my end, I'm not into the whole horror movie. I'll tell anybody, my favorite scary movie is Dead Silence. I'll watch that because it's hilarious to me, but the whole scary horror movie thing, negative. Not on that at all whatsoever. Another thing that we had on our topic list to talk about today is the return of Danny Rand. Iron Fist. Iron Fist is coming to Netflix. The Last Defender is coming to Netflix on March 17th. I am totally excited for this Iron Fist show. I'm excited. I feel like Marvel's going in a good direction. If you haven't seen it already, I did a little small trailer review on Iron Fist on my YouTube channel. So just check out Fandoms Anonymous, and there's an Iron Fist video there. So what did you guys think about Iron Fist?
Kevin, drop some knowledge about the comic books first, man. I don't got much.
Okay. So Danny Rand is the what they call in some books it's called the Immortal Iron Fist or whatnot. I don't think Danny Rand's immortal or whatnot, but essentially Danny Rand is this guy who goes is in a plane crash, and he goes to this mystical land of Kung Lao, and he gets trained, okay? And he gets trained in these mystical martial arts. And supposedly he comes back to America or whatnot, and then back in the day he worked with Luke Cage, and they were the heroes for hire. And they would go out and they would solve crimes, or, you know, you could hire them to do different things or whatnot. Nothing illegal. Like if somebody stole something from you, somebody was missing, you know, security, stuff like that, they would actually go out and do those jobs. So this is the thing. There's a lot of controversy behind Danny Rand, and I'm going to go ahead and address it because it's part of what happened. Back in the day when this character was created in the 60s or whatnot, there was a lot of fascination with martial arts and Asian culture. And what would happen was you would have these characters that would be non-Asian, and they would go over to Asian lands and learn their mystical arts and be better at them at it. And it was, it's kind of one of those things where, listen, it was the 60s. Guys were just making comic books. All those comic book writers have since then have come out and said, hey, you know, we could do stuff different now, and we should, and they have.
I do think it's interesting to bring up the difference in the difference in the way that America perceives Japan and the way that Japan perceives America. I think that both countries have had a lot of fascination with the other. You know, we love anime over here, but anime itself came from Disney drawings and things like that. The formula is kind of borrowed itself, so I can see why there would be a controversy. But again, you know, when these comic books came out, we weren't living in such a politically correct world. And if you look at Wong, you know, you look at Doctor Strange's, you know, partner, I guess, but really more of his manservant, and that was a bad racial stereotype, you know. So the Marvel has to stray a little bit from formula just to protect themselves from the kind of backlash that there's going to be. And I think they're doing what they can to remain true to the comic book stories while not falling into the trap of being like, you guys are just racially and culturally insensitive, because Marvel needs to address that. You know, it's been leaps and bounds since they introduced Black Panther into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but before that, it's like all we had was Anthony Mackie as the Falcon, you know? So it is cool to see them start to address that stuff, and then Captain Marvel's coming out pretty soon, but it seems like DC really beat Marvel to the punch as far as diversity and all that stuff. But I feel like that Iron Fist trailer looked like Batman Begins. I can't get past it. It just is like, is that Danny Rand or Bruce Wayne? I don't know. Did you feel any of that?
I didn't necessarily feel any of that, because I guess I've already been invested into the character beforehand. So when I saw it, my mind went straight to, okay, this is the story of Danny Rand, you know.
Good. Yeah, that was the only negative side I saw of it, but that's the origin story of the character. Again, they need to stay true to that so the fans will be able to accept it, basically. And I think the action looks fantastic. There was one scene in particular where you see some dudes with axes start coming down a hallway, and I just know that's going to be the obligatory hallway fight scene in this season, and it's going to probably play out a lot like Snowpiercer, which is a fantastic movie, and I love those hallway fight scenes. That was like, if I wasn't into Daredevil before that happened in episode 4 or episode 2, I can't remember, I think it was episode 4, I was totally locked in at that point, because I've never seen choreography like that in a TV series, so that was awesome.
But I want to say this. After seeing that trailer, guys, you're going to be shocked. I am not excited for Iron Fist.
What?
Yeah, it fell flat for me. It really did. I wish I had, and it's not, I was bringing up that whole issue about the Asian culture thing to talk about the controversy. It's not that for me at all. I want to put that out there. For me, I'm with Jeremy. Marvel has bent over backwards to clean up a lot of this stuff. So much so that you mentioned Wong. Actually, in the newer Doctor Strange origin, where they went back and retold everything, which is probably 15 years old now, Wong was a student there and more so a partner to Doctor Strange than some type of manservant. And actually, the character that played Wong in the movie, he told him, he said, I'll do this character, but I'm not being a manservant, before he even read the script. He knew who the character was. Thought that was pretty cool. But, yeah, so my problem with it isn't that. It just fell flat for me. The guy that's playing Danny Rand is not doing it for me. I'm sorry. So what I'm going to say is, you guys know I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. Like, it's not bad to the point where I'm not going to watch it. It's just that I don't have the same excitement I went into Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage with for this thing. Right. However, I'm open to it. I'm going to be there for it. And if it's great, I'll be the first person to say, wow, they really did it. So, but it kind of fell flat for me, man. I was surprised. If
this is the bad Netflix series, then they're still batting like 75%, and that ain't bad. But even if it's the worst of the four, I still think that there's that consistency of quality between each of them that they're not going to miss the mark by too much. And I think we can take that to the bank just because Marvel's track record is so phenomenal.
You're right. And I'll tell you one comparison I want to make real quick before you jump in there, Malcolm. For this series to work for me, the action sequences have to be tighter than Daredevil and on par, if not better, than Into the Badlands.
Okay.
For this to work for me, because you got, and as a comic book reader, this is, and what I'm about to say is not how I feel about the trailer. As a comic book reader, Danny Rand is supposed to be the baddest hand-to-hand combatant in the Marvel Universe. Not even Cap can touch Danny Rand. That's what this is supposed to be. Granted, he has to start somewhere and go somewhere, so I'm not expecting him to be, maybe all of. You showed me the glowing fist. You showed me the iron fist in the trailer. So if he's not who he needs to be, I'm gonna be a little bit pissed. But I'm gonna give it a chance though.
And it was one thing you were saying, Jerry, about the choreography. It was this. I think the fighting choreography that they're doing overall, when it between Daredevil and Iron Fist, is just awesome. It's amazing. That's one thing I want to touch on that. But guys, we're going to wrap this up, and we're going to end off with what's coming out in the movies this week. We got 3 movies. We got Lego Batman, John Wick Chapter 2, and Valentine's Day is coming around the corner, so we got 50 Shades Darker. So, out of these 3, which one are you guys most interested in and why?
Kevin, you want to take this one?
I'll jump in there. First of all, 50 Shades Darker, not a chance, snowball chance in hell I'm going to see that. So, I'll tell you this. It's going to be Lego Batman for me. And this is why. I love the first John Wick. I watched it last night. I love that movie. But I have a 5-year-old, and I can't take him to see John Wick 2. But I can take him to see Lego Batman. And I love the Lego movie. He loved it too. So Lego Batman for me, more so because of the family aspect. However, if it was just single me on a Friday night, I would be going to see John Wick 2 first and then Lego Batman on Saturday. So I know there may be a roundabout way of answering the question, but I hold both those movies in high regard. If you're asking me who's going to do numbers and what the money's going to look like, Lego Batman is probably going to do between 50 and 60 million. I think John Wick will open up with a strong probably 25 to 30 million, and then I think 50 Shades around 35 or 40.
And there's 35 and $40 million worth of freaks.
Yeah, at least.
At least, and I could be underselling it, but I'm only going conservative with 50 Shades Darker because the first movie wasn't really received that well. And
I agree.
One of the main complaints I heard from women who read the books or whatever was they didn't like the guy that's playing, Gray, and they didn't like the girl playing Anastasia, and they were saying the chemistry was off. It didn't mirror the chemistry of the books. So I don't know if people are going to be really ready to go back in and give them another shot. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Man, that's a tough one between John Wick and Lego Batman. That's just a tough one. I love John Wick, and I actually watched it last night also. We were probably watching it on TV at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fantastic. I am a big fan of Keanu Reeves. I'm a big fan of martial arts movies. I really like this gun fu that they pulled off in the first John Wick movie. But it kind of comes down to this simple, comparison of what you're in the mood for that particular moment. Do you want a straightforward action movie that's really skimpy on story, or do you want a straightforward, just all-out comedy in Lego Batman that's probably going to pull some heartstrings? Because I also really loved the original Lego movie. I thought that it was really well done, and when it took that little turn at the third act, I was like, man, this is genius. Like, everything about it really, really added up for me. So I do love that movie. But first and foremost, I'm going to see John Wick. That's a Thursday night thing that's going on tomorrow night, so I can't wait for that. And then Lego Batman on Friday or Saturday for sure. So
I think for me overall, it's Lego Batman only. I've never seen the first John Wick. I think I'll get it. I think I'll dive into it and check it out. But as far as what's in the movie this weekend, what I would choose, I'm definitely going to see Lego Batman. Because I really, like you all said, I love the Lego movie. It was hilarious. It was innovative, and it showed me that just as well as they brought in the Lego movie, it shows that this is just the beginning of other Lego movies. Because the Lego movie does something that in our superhero universe we've been wanting. The Lego movie can take every last DC character and every last Marvel character and make a Lego movie out of it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
With no problem. Because we have Lego Marvel games, we have Lego DC games, we have Lego Harry Potter games. You can just take all the, there's a whole Lego Dimensions game with everybody you can think of in one video game.
Unreal.
So I think
are endless.
Exactly. I think that the Lego movie is going to be, the Lego franchise is going to become greater. You guys got to think about it. We grew up just playing with Legos. We didn't have a Lego movie. We didn't have a Lego TV show. We didn't have a Lego cartoon. And let's not forget the whole Bionicle franchise. I don't even know if they're still making Bionicle shows, but I know they're still making those Bionicle toys. So that's what we came up on. So to see this branch out as it is, it's just awesome. I'm loving the fact that Lego is branching out, into the movie universe, and then all it does is revamp around and create toy sales. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I think, guys, we have really enjoyed talking this morning about the trailers. Excuse us for the technical difficulties. We're human. Technology is made by humans, so sometimes there can be mistakes. So we do thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate you, Kevin, for joining us this morning. Appreciate you, Jeremy, from Be Terrible Productions as well. Kevin, where can they find you at?
Hey, man, just on Facebook.com, Kevin Garlington. You can find me in the Fandom Anonymous group.
And Jeremy, where can we find you at?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure, and we need to do it again sometime. Check me out at Jeremy Be Terrible over on Twitter. Check out Be Terrible Productions on Facebook, and you can find me regularly on FloridaMan.com.
Most definitely, guys. And we got a lot of new content coming out today. We're doing all of our DC TV reviews. Arrow review will post tomorrow. We got a review coming out on Jerome, the Jerome episode from Gotham. I don't know if a lot of you guys check that out. We got a lot of new stuff coming out today. I'm also doing my top 10 Valentine's Day video 2017 over on my other channel. So I'll be posting that link as well. That's something you guys can check out as well. So again, guys, thank you for joining another episode of Fandom Talk. We'll see you guys again next time.